Keep it going. 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 There you go. Keep it going. Move that bus. Keep it going. That bus. Move that bus. Move that bus. Move that bus. Come on, bus. Move that bus. Move that bus. Here we go. Move that bus. Here we go. Move that bus. Move that bus. Ladies and gentlemen, America's heroes are home!
Thank you for joining us this morning for the Fort Hood Vietnam Veterans Welcome Home Ceremony. It's a beautiful morning at the great place and wonderful to see our Vietnam veterans, soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen and their families here today. 1,278 Vietnam veterans and their guests are here today. On behalf of the soldiers, civilians, family members, and Fort Hood, welcome home. As part of Phantom Warrior Week, the Fort Hood 4-day celebration of our veteran service, I am honored to host this first event and say welcome home. You fulfilled a time-honored duty to serve our nation. You deployed to the jungles of Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos to defend freedom and our way of life. More than 35 years after Americans returned from Vietnam, there are still more than 2,000 missing in action from this war. I ask a moment of silence now to remember those missing in action and our prisoners of war. The fallen from this forgotten war will never be forgotten. Thank you. The myths of Vietnam, largely promoted in Hollywood, portrayed you as unwilling draftees who did not want to be in the military. The reality is that 2/3 of the 2.6 Americans who served in Vietnam were volunteers. All of our military were well-trained professionals who engaged in countless engagements in remote and complex battles, as the Ia Drang Valley landing at X-Ray, November 1965, the Siege of Khe Sanh, January 1968, the Tet Offensive, August 1968, Saigon, March of 68, and the Eastertide Offensive, March-April of 1972. Vietnam was a clash of cultures and a clash of generations. As soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen fighting in America's most divisive war since the Civil War, you fought in a foreign country against guerrilla tactics, against a determined enemy that included women and children. Indecision and protest in the United States gave way to indifference and hostility against the veterans upon your return. Senator Jim Webb, a former Secretary of the Navy, recipient of the Navy Cross, Silver Star, and Bronze Star, was a Marine in Vietnam. He recently wrote a commentary about the Vietnam generation. He says that the truth is the Vietnam generation is a misnomer. Those who came of age during that war are permanently divided by different reactions, and nothing divides them more deeply than personal ramifications of that war itself. A sizable portion of the Vietnam age group who opted to serve in the military during this year's are quite different from their age peer group. For most of those who served, Woodstock was a sideshow. College protesters didn't understand what they were protesting against and would have benefited from having to work a few jobs in order to pay their tuition, and Vietnam represented a battlefield. That was just as brutal as those their fathers faced in World War II in Korea. Winston Churchill said, "A man does what he must in spite of personal consequences, in spite of obstacles and dangers and pressures. And that is the basis of all human morality. You did what you must. You served our nation in a time of need. You returned home to rebuild our military. Because of you, we have the unbelievably effective fighting force of today, the best in the world. We are an exceptional military because you rebuilt us. You are the best led, best manned, best equipped, best trained, and best supported because of you." We are the best led because you taught us how to lead our troops with honor and guide them through challenging situations. You inspired and developed today's military leaders. We are the best manned because you encourage your sons and daughters to serve. You set high standards, and you fought for a better pay and benefits to retain a professional force. We are the best equipped because you showed us what was needed to fight a war with the uniforms and equipment that would be both lethal to the enemy and increase our survivability. We are the best trained because you taught us hard-fought combat lessons, and we still use them today to prepare our soldiers for combat in Afghanistan. You instilled the Army values in us. We are the best supported Army because you never gave up in getting the message to the American people that we need to sustain our military with funding and continued support. Today, we can look out at Fort Hood and 3 Corps, soldiers that surround you. Many just returned from fighting themselves, and rightfully say, you, the Vietnam veterans, built this force. Today's military stands on the shoulders of giants. Yes, your shoulders hold us up. Today you are home, and we are eternally grateful for your service. You served and you continue to serve. You lead in business, education, community, in all sectors. Our veterans organizations are strong with your service. Our communities grow from your volunteerism, and youth today learn from your history. The Patriot Guard is an exceptional example of continuous service that provides for all. You proudly ride out to honor our fallen in all weather because you know they deserve it. Thank you. You serve and continue to serve. You serve and you continue to serve. You should cherish your selfless service today. For as President Teddy Roosevelt said in a speech in Citizenship in a Republic, it is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer or deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcoming, but who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, and who spends himself for a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who knew neither victory or defeat. You entered the arena, gentlemen and ladies. You know victory. Having never been defeated in battle in Vietnam, you know you served in a worthy cause. We are grateful for your service and humbled to be with you today. We are proud to serve in an Army that you built. You truly exemplify our Army motto, Army Strong. May God bless our Vietnam veterans. May God bless our soldiers who are still deployed in harm's way. And may God bless the United States of America. Welcome to Phantom Warrior Week. Welcome to Fort Hood, our Vietnam veterans. And again, welcome home, Phantom Warriors, Army Strong. Now it's my distinct honor to welcome the senior officer, general officer here today, who will provide a minute or two of remarks. General Robert Shoemaker. Sir, please.
Thank you very much, General, and thank you for this splendid celebration. Long overdue, but not your fault. Thank you very much. I served in Vietnam 3 times, came home 3 times. The good news is, so far as I know, I was never spat on or physically abused. But the bad news is, no one ever shook my hand, handed me a flower, and said, job well done. When I did get home, though, the other good news is I got a hug from a loving wife and a lick on the cheek from a family dog. Now, there are 2 things that I really want to say. First of all, thanks to General Campbell and his staff for organizing this splendid demonstration. I feel personally that I'm finally home, and I thank you, sir. Secondly, I want to thank the local area, state, national governments, and many private organizations for finally treating our soldiers who are fighting 2 wars, some of them unpopular for many, and separating the difference between an unpopular war and a noble soldier who does his job on the battlefield. And I don't mean just soldiers, I mean all service members. That may be one of the great legacies of Vietnam. The nation has vowed never to make that mistake again, of failing to honor the warriors, even if we don't appreciate the war. Thank you very much, General Campbell, and all your people. This is splendid, and I'm glad to be home.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor also to introduce Mr. Michael Thornton, Medal of Honor recipient from Vietnam, who would like to provide a few remarks. Michael, thank you for your service and your leadership. Please come forward.
Are we still here? My comrade in arms, my fellow men from Vietnam, and who still serves this great country today. General Campbell, I cannot thank you and your officers and Sergeant Major, you and your NCOs and what you guys have done this for us today. So I think 3 Corps needs a big hand for what they have done this year's conference. I had 4 tours of Vietnam in the Navy SEAL team, and my first tour was in 1968. And you know, when I went to Vietnam, it wasn't about accolades or awards and nothing else. As we all went, our country asked us to go, and we went over there. And we served this country proud. And each and every one of you out there should understand what you did. You ought to be very proud. Because I felt we're going to stop communism. And what a lot of people don't know, after that war, communists never went to another country. And in my day and time, in your day and time, I watched the Berlin Wall fall down. So you ought to be proud of what you've done, because that's what the Vietnam vets did. Each and every one of us are brothers and comrades in arms, you know? And I tell you, no matter if you're black, white, red, yellow, or any other nationality, you ought to be proud of who you are, because one thing we do, we all bleed red. We bleed for America, because that was our cause to do there. So God bless each and every one of you for what you're doing. The medal I wear so proudly around my neck does not, I don't deserve it, and never will feel I deserve it. But it belongs to each and every one of you in this audience today. It also belongs to these young men and women standing on your flanks and what they do continue to serve for our great country. You know, ladies and gentlemen, we live in the greatest nation in the world, and I've been to 76 countries, and there's nothing like America. And what our country produces for us today, these young men and women in uniform, and they volunteer their services to help protect us and give us the continued freedom that we deserve today in this great country of America. But this medal I wear so proudly around my neck belongs to almost 59,000 young men and women we lost in Vietnam. It's their sacrifices while we're able to sit here today, and the continued sacrifices that 3 Corps, 5 Corps, Navy SEALs, Marine Recon, Marines, Air Force, and all our major services continue to give us the freedoms today. The medal belongs to all of them. I don't deserve it, never feel I deserve it, but God bless you. This is yours, and I'm here for you to say thank you, Vietnam vets, and welcome home. Well deserved, and God bless each and every one of you. Thank you very much.
Okay, Michael, General Shoemaker, thank you. Thank you to all of our community leaders. In the interest of time, I didn't introduce anybody. It's hot out there. I need to get these veterans reunited with their families. So, ladies and gentlemen, our great Vietnam veterans, once again from 3 Corps in Fort Hood, and America. Welcome home. We love you. Okay, on three, everybody. We're going to clap for the veterans. 1, 2, 3. Go get your...
All right, go get them, families. God bless America. God bless the United States Army. Go ahead, vets.
Near the big red and white tent in the Free Court parking lot. Thank you for attending.